Hi, I am Rohit Kandan from Master of Information Technology, and I will be presenting my tech demo on Vue, which is a JavaScript framework for building user interfaces on top of standard HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The application which I'm building is centered around Vue. It is also integrated with few other technologies like Socket.io, Leaflet, Chart.js. I'm also using Express as a backend server, Vite as a build tool. Vite is actually the officially recommended build tool for Vue 3 applications and higher versions. Apart from these, I'm also using the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript along with Node.js. Now, let us explore some of the differences between Vue and React. For navigation, Vue uses router link to navigate between the pages of a Vue application, while React uses the navlink tag using the React router DOM. The state changes in Vue are tracked using the ref method for primitive data types such as integer, character, and string, and reactive method for objects. Vue will auto-update the document object model when reactive variables change. React uses hooks like useState to store values and useEffect for side effects like API calls. We have to manually trigger the updates which will cause re-render, and during this re-render the state changes are tracked in React. The file components in Vue are organized into single file components that contain template, which is the HTML structure, the script tag, which has the component logic, and the style tag, which can be used for CSS styling. React components are written in JavaScript files using the JSX, JavaScript plus XML. JSX allows us to write HTML-like code inside JavaScript. In Vue, event handling is done using the at-click and vModel bindings, while on React, it is done using on-click for button clicks and on-change for any input changes. The logic is handled inside the script tag, particularly inside the setup function in Vue, and in React, it is handled inside functions or hooks, for example, use callback or use effect. The installation of Vue and React are mostly similar, but just the framework will differ. Instead of choosing React, we will be choosing Vue for our application. Recently, there was a major earthquake in New Zealand, in South Island. That's when I came across this awesome website known as GeoNet. GeoNet is New Zealand's official geological hazard monitoring network. It provides real-time data on earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. It is completely public, and the APIs can be used under Creative Commons license. So, using the data available from the GeoNet APIs, I have developed a Calamity Dashboard that shows the earthquake and volcano data. So, in the earthquake dashboard, I am listing the recent earthquakes and marking them in the maps. I have marked them according to the intensity level, and I have color coded them. And I have also included a bar chart which shows the number of earthquakes for the past 30 days. And in the volcano dashboard, I have similarly listed the volcano levels and marked them on the map around New Zealand. So when we click any entry in the dashboard, it will redirect us to the overview page in the GeoNet website, so the users can gather additional information on it. Now the earthquake dashboard is available to us. Here we can see the scrollable list of recent earthquakes, and these details are fetched using Socket.io from the backend to the front end. Clicking on any of this will take us to the GeoNet overview page where we can find additional details about the volcano or earthquake. So here, as you can see, there are many information available. Feel free to check this website out. And using Leaflet, I have plotted the markings of the earthquake occurrence across the New Zealand map. Here, the darker color means it's severe, and lighter color means it's weak earthquake. This pop-up screen will show the intensity scale where I have arranged it according to the MMI levels and color coding. And using Chart.js, I have plotted the number of earthquakes per day over the last 30 days. As you can see, on 31st March 2025 we had 15 earthquakes per day, which is too high. Similarly, for the volcano dashboard, I have arranged the listings in the similar fashion and markings in the map as well. And clicking on any of these entries will also take us to the GeoNet overview page, where we can see additional information about the volcano. As you can see, for White Island volcano, there are many information available here. So we previously discussed about the GeoNet website, and the API offered by the GeoNet website can be accessed in this link. So we need two different APIs for earthquake and for volcanoes. Just these fields would differ, and we will get different types of data, but both of them are JSON. So the JSON data that we get from the GeoNet website is referred to as GeoJSON, and this is the sample JSON file for the earthquake. This ID, which we can see here, is the global ID. I am using this to get all these values and post it in my UI as a scrollable list. And I have used for these coordinates as well for placing the markers in my map. So I need these coordinates, and when clicked on an entry, I need to redirect to the overview page in GeoNet website. So for that I need this public ID. So similarly for volcano.json, we need this global ID for getting all these fields, and I have used for these coordinates to plot them in my map, and to redirect to the overview page of the GeoNet website I need this value as well. So how Socket.io, Leaflet and Chart.js is used in my project. Generally Socket.io is used for real-time updates. So here in my project I'm getting the values from the backend and posting to the front end. So in our UI we can post the updated value accordingly. And Leaflet is a JavaScript library for interactive maps, and I am using the coordinates from the JSON file, and I'm placing circle markers on the leaflet. And similarly, Chart.js is a JavaScript charting library. It is used for making different kinds of graphs, and I am using Chart.js to plot a bar graph for the number of earthquakes over the past 30 days. I'm going to do a walkthrough of my code base. We are currently in the backend folder, and we are seeing the server.js file. I have declared the following requirements here, and I am creating a server using the Express. And here I am declaring two functions which are going to fetch the data from GeoNet website using Axios method. And here I am declaring the socket.io function. It's an async function which is going to emit the data that we receive from this previous function to the connected client. And the next part, the io.emit, will act as an auto refresh and updates the data to the front end every 60 seconds. So now coming to the front end part, our app.view acts as a core component here, and in view, under the template, we will declare our HTML structure of our app. So here under the router link, I'm declaring the routes, and here I'm saying go to this route, and I'm adding a button, and I'm checking if this route is active, then the button should be dark, else the button would be white. For this component, I have declared it under the index.js under the router folder. Here I'm saying if the component is Earthquake Dashboard, then this should be the path, and this is the name. Similarly for volcano, I have declared the router links for earthquake and volcano in the similar format. Suppose if we want to do the same in React, we'll use the navlink function. Here we are saying that we have to go to this route, and using the class name function we are checking if this route is active, then the button should be dark, else the button should be light. The main components of our application are included in the src directory under components and pages folder. So let us take one of the pages, earthquake dashboard.view. Here in the template section I am defining the how my earthquake dashboard should look like. So here I'm saying I want the recent earthquake list on the left hand side of my dashboard, and I'm saying that I want the map of the earthquake just to be on the right, and here I'm saying that I want an intensity information button just below the map, and this button should be working on click. That's what I'm saying here. And just below the button I am defining an earthquake chart here. So this is the template that I have defined, and in the script section I have imported all the available components of earthquake, and in the setup function we have to define the logic. Here I am declaring an empty quakes list, and I'm using socket.io here, as we already know that from the backend some information that we got uh, for earthquake data is being emitted using socket.io. So using the unmounted function I'm collecting those data using socket.io, and I'm storing those in the quakes list. So now we have a list of earthquake. Let us take a component here, earthquake list.view form, and in the template we have defined that we need a scrollable list of earthquakes. So using the data that we got from the earthquake dashboard.view file, we will be printing it out here. Let me show you how to add an additional button here in the earthquake list. So I am defining a button class here, and on click I want the title of this to be changed. So Copilot has suggested me this change, and I have just defined the template here. For this to take effect I need to define it here in the script section. So I'm defining a data function that will return me the changed header. So yeah, for this to take effect I have to save this file and check it in the front end. Now we are at our front end, and after our code changes we can see here that there is a new title along with the change header button. These changes will take effect immediately with Vite's hot module replacement function. So if we click on this change header button, we can see that our title is now changed to live quakes. This is how we work with Vue. We define our structure at the template section and the logic part in the script section. It is very beginner friendly. In React, the change header functionality which we implemented before can be implemented in the following way. First, we'll create a function called earthquake list and use state to define the state of a variable called header text. I'm showing this value inside h4 tag, and below this I'm adding a button, so when it is clicked it calls the set header function to update the title to live quakes, and React will automatically render this state change. I want to share some of the advantages of using Vue. Vue has a very gentle learning curve. If you know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, Vue is very easy to pick up. Vue is composed of single file components. We can define the entire structure, logic and style in the same single file. And state changes are automatically tracked using ref and reactive keywords. And Vue supports flexible integration. In my application, I integrated Socket.io, Leaflet, and Chart.js seamlessly in Vue. And Vue also supports built-in animation transitions. Thank you for your attention and happy coding.